Hello everyone, today's the 12th of June. I went to the car boot sale near me earlier today. This is what I bought. I bought this footprint wrench, decent impressions of the logo, but missing its original pivot pin. That was £1. It's only a nice short 5-inch approximately model. There's a regular guy there who always has a few tools, and he let me have this lot for £1. These are nice and small as well. I thought they were quite dinky, so that's why I got them. Just marked Stahl, which of course is German for steel. The two very fine punches and a massive one, and this pin vise. It must have been chuck day for me, because somewhere else I got these two other chuck type devices together with this, once again a table saw key, and they cost me £1. This one's a bit rusty, but this attachment is very interesting. It says it's a impact attachment, so I'll give that a try to see if it is in fact what it says. I got a couple of belts because I want some brown leather. This one's actually plastic, but the colour's okay. This one is a nice brown and it's a nice thick leather. I actually need the leather to do a repair for the heirloom mouse. Here he is. It needs a new tail, as well as fixing back to his block. So I will be cutting up the belt for that. 2 belts for £1. This was a nice small roofing square perhaps, but I really like the nice size of it, plus it's solid steel. It's Smallwood, Birmingham, Dryad Handicrafts. So that was £2. After seeing somebody else pick up a heat gun, I thought I'd do the same. This was £1. It works. What else did I get? Oh yes, a bit of hardware. These are quite unusual deck screws. That's a picture of them there. They are allegedly for composite decks. I didn't quite appreciate that when I picked them up. T20 driver needed. They've got a grey coloured top. This one has actually been opened, but I think they're all there. And the seller, when I asked him how much he wanted for a box, he just took it in his hand and did that and said £1.50. So I had 2 of them, so I got the 2 for £3. They're probably worth that. I'm not sure if I got a use for them now after seeing the type of head they have. But I do have a deck project coming up later in at the end of summer. These items here were part of a £6 haul, including what's in the toolbox and the toolbox. So we have a nice old rusty steel rule. It is Raybone, Birmingham. Got a nice King Dick 12-inch but seized solid adjustable, and a crowbar, a small one. Last weekend we were burning a pallet, and I had to borrow a crowbar off the neighbour, so I thought I'd get one for myself. a dinky one. I've got a big one, but the dinky one was much more useful. Also, the toolbox was the extra £1 to take it up to 6. Everything else was going to be a £5. So mostly what everything else consisted of was these couple of V blocks, a bigger one and a smaller one, and a oblong one, plus this centre finder, which is a bit rough condition, plus that end that looks like a homemade cutting edge, if anybody has any thoughts about that. The toolbox is one of these that swivels out. Also, as part of the £5 of tools were these two little items. This is a nice nippers, and this is matching normal nippers, and they are Lindstrom, Sweden marks on the head. And there were a couple of other items in the bottom of the toolbox, but they weren't tools. One was a small ornamental heron, about 4 inches tall, made of brass but painted mostly, with brass highlights showing. It's very nice actually, but threw those in as part of the deal. So I think that was an okay purchase. And then, as often happens at this particular car boot sale, it's, quite a lot of house clearances there, and at the end of the day they say take what you want, it's all free. So I got these for nothing. That scraper's a little bit broken there, I think, but can't complain. Small quarter inch ratchet. It does ratchet. It doesn't sound particularly good that way, but it sounds better the other way. But it does ratchet. A small, short 10 saw, excuse me. Another burnisher in a handle of sorts. That's for burnishing the underneath of the soles, leather soles of shoes. You heat this up, and then you rub it like mad on the leather after you've applied some polish, and it puts the colour into the sole. This scalpel as well was on his mat that he was getting rid of. It does have a broad arrow plus something Sheffield, which I will de-rust later, plus these 3 coping saw arrangements without blades, but this one's also without its other end, so this is basically a bit of spare part. But I'm not complaining, all that was for nothing. That concludes what I bought today. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave a comment, say what you like. Cheers.